You get triggered by the Slide for Vaughn comments. They be saying Slide for Vaughn, I think they trolling me.
For some reason, I just don't see them comments no more.
Cameras captured the aftermath.
This man, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight.
We want to begin now with some breaking news. Rapper Lil Durk is...
The Durk case has gained a new snitch. This one in particular is snitching on Durk for placing money to have Quando Rondo dealt with, including giving the details of when Durk sent goons to a gas station to hit up Quando. It reads, "Feds believe Durk was also behind the attempt of Quando Rondo in 2021. In the evidence files, it reads, they have surveillance footage and witness testimony related to the attempt of Quando in Georgia. But it also reads how Durk raps in a song saying, they're on my page like Slide for Vaughn. I know they trolling me." In his podcast with Academics, he said, "For some reason, I just don't see them comments no more."
You get triggered by the Slide for Vaughn comments. I don't know if people still say it. They used to say it, but you also mention a song. They be like, they be saying Slide for Vaughn, I think they trolling me. Yo, by the way, them songs is fire, I ain't gonna lie.
For some reason, I just don't see them comments no more. For some odd reason. I don't know. Might be the water.
They aren't using the lyrics against Durk, but are instead using the song's release date to line it up with the gas station hit on Quando. They're also trying to get OTF Didi to flip against Durk. However, Didi is already trying to remove himself from the case.
And that's what Didi did. He's basically saying all this evidence y'all got against Durk got nothing to do with me. Why you got me charged with Durk? And that doesn't mean he's going against Durk. That just means he wants his case severed. And I'm telling you, if it's severed, it helps Durk. Because one of the main connective tissue to this conspiracy is saying that Durk told Didi to hire. Didi's saying, I ain't get told to hire nobody, and I ain't hiring nobody. What are you talking about? Why would I hire someone? That's his thing.
With the new piece of evidence starting from a text chat, it made it clear who the snitch is. As it reads, Durk is facing allegations from federal prosecutors that he put hits on O-Block members for not retaliating for King Von. Prosecutors plan to introduce testimony from a witness who claims Durk gave the orders. As the files continue reading, Durk feuds with O-Block member Mana Duke over Durk's belief that members were not retaliating for King Von's passing. Whack 100 would react, revealing the truth of the snitches going against Durk.
Life by basically saying he's guilty of for hire, and the only thing that, like, yes, some of these things look suspect. Why'd you go there? Why are these people going there? Why'd you send this message? But nothing. There's no message that they got that says where Durk says y'all that Quando yet. Nothing says that.
You missing the point. Okay. They got a witness already cooperating on that. Been had one. We just ain't seen what they said. It's 3 years. One of the cooperating.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
so
that's co-conspirator too.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't need too much more than that. One of the is cooperating. Then in the paperwork, you got the conversation. They say they had it in and out. The other two was figuring out how they getting paid.
However, Durk's lawyers tried submitting for Durk's release. With it reported, words from Durk's father have Durk being released on bond. With this being his third attempt, his lawyers made an offer so great the judge can't refuse it.
I just left the courtroom for the bond hearing for my son for the release for the third time. This time it was very fair. The judge was very fair. He wasn't pro-prosecutor, he wasn't pro-defense, but he was pro-justice. So he listened to all the evidence, and he's gonna give a ruling in the next few days about what his position is for the bond. But we were very pleased at how it turned out. So continue, family, friends, and fans, continue to keep us in your prayers, and we thank you. And inshallah, God willing, this be victorious for us, that we have a good ruling in our favor.
At the same time, Durk's lawyers argued about the lyric evidence they were using against Durk, which made the prosecutors drop the evidence from the case, meaning they got Durk a better chance at being accepted for bond. As the news wrote, Durk's court hearing had the prosecutors telling the judge they are willingly throwing away evidence against Durk while reading it out loud during his court hearing in front of everyone. As this removed the lyric evidence from the files such as, told me they got an addy, they got the location go, look on the news, see your son screaming no.
Right now, the search is on for 3 people who police say at a Savannah rapper, a member of his entourage. It happened in Los Angeles, and cameras captured the aftermath.
This man, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight.
An exclusive interview from DJ Academics had Durk's lawyer revealing the charges against him are a joke.
The case is as follows. So there was an indictment that did not name him, right? It named others, and then there was an unindicted person. And then 3 weeks later, that indictment was what's called the first superseding indictment, and it does name him. The indictment was identical, except the unnamed person now became Durk Banks. And this is the really important part, Ak. The second indictment, what's called the first superseding indictment, only had one new fact. It had one new fact, and that was it alleged that there was a video by Durk that celebrated and monetized this.
Before the judge was able to make his decision, something concerning happened. The feds were able to get Vonnie to snitch. His file was updated showing he's no longer in the Bureau of Prisons custody, which means he's been released from jail and is likely on house arrest. Vonnie got his hands on a cell phone and texted someone close to him to speak about the plea deal. However, they flipped on Vonnie and outed him for snitching. Vonnie texted the message, "I'm trying to plea out to a 32, which is the base for M for hire. The max is 43, which is life. I'd get -2 points for a plea, -1 point for an early plea, and -2 points for no background. So I'll have 27 points, which is 5 to 7 years. I don't want them to do me like the other guys." Vonnie is referencing TF Jam when he mentions what happened to the other guys, but more on that later. This is when something strange happened. Vonnie's own father began snitching on him and telling his secrets, as Vonnie's own father spoke about how his son played a role in King Von's passing and claims Durk knew about it.
I'm gonna give you this. It's a back door and I got all the pieces. That's all I'm gonna tell you. As Durk asked Vonnie, "Is it open?" Vonnie told him it's off the hinges.
Wait. Are you talking about the Von? Like King Von?
Listen very carefully. When the payment was made to Little Tim, the next day or the same day, Durk asked Vonnie, "Was it open?" This is what he asked him. Was it open? It was the exact words, "Was it open?" He told him it's off the hinges.
Are you saying that Vonnie backdoor King Von? No way. That was right here.
You heard what I just said. Guess what? You need motive first, right? I got bankers. I got bankers that'll testify that or will make a contract or make a statement to you and let you know that this is the amount of money he had, this is what he had, this is that another. You need motive first and foremost. I got text messages from the lawyer letting you know that who told on Durk before, who told on Von before he died.
At first, it's confusing to think why Durk would want to take out one of his closest friends and someone that was on his side. But when you take into account that they were in a court case together, it makes a lot of sense. They were charged for going after someone in downtown Atlanta, but suddenly only months after Von passed, the case disappeared. It ended in a private settlement, which leads fans to believe Durk put the blame on Von since he was already passed. As the truth is that Durk got a get out of jail free card because King Von passed away.
Why would Durk want Von?
All right, man. Let me give you this. First of all, you didn't sign your rights over. You ain't in no 360 deal. First of all, you can't bring nobody into the business and they surpass you. How you bring me to the table when I pass you up? Don't nobody want their chief spot taken, do they?
That's an interesting
dude was
thing.
a select. He was signed the boys. He was Von wasn't no.
That's interesting. I did find out that Von didn't have any contractual ties to Durk like that, which was interesting.
Man, come on, man. He wasn't even signed to him. How's this his friend? He lied on Breakfast Club and said, "Hey, you think your man would be sitting here with $300,000 worth of jewelry on and he not have an attorney?" He had a public defender.
This is then when a tweet went viral. With Vonnie's dad leaking that Durk had Von dealt with makes me wonder why Durk goes live whenever he's connected to a passing. He went on live the minute when King Von, Lil Pob, and FBG Duck passed away, as this has fans believing Durk used Instagram Live to create an alibi, although Vonnie's father wasn't done yet, as he revealed Vonnie orchestrated Lil Pab and King Von's passings.
Oh no, he ain't take my rights. He ain't respond no back to me because this is on a tablet. He on a jail tablet when I sent that to him. He ain't respond nothing else to him. I told you he can't take my advice because they playing. They made themselves get caught. This is what come along with it. They wanted to get caught. You understand me?
So, that's what you meant by trenches paint. Okay.
What you mean trenches what?
Was it you that said that? With the whole narrative about Vonnie snitching with the text messages. Like, that's...
Yeah. I don't know who said that, but that was me.
But that was a focus. Everybody was trying to make it seem like that's what the text messages was about.
That's just saying what he finna cop out to and this, that, and that. And with me saying Von, some people like, man, what he gonna tell on some concerns on her.
I ain't gonna lie, I said that in my video. I'm intrigued to know what the bond name was for.
No, he ain't gonna tell him no Devon. You gonna tell that just like you orchestrated Lil you orchestrated this, and guess who you work for?
However, Vonnie isn't the only snitch. What Dee Dee's younger brother did left rappers saying, "Please tell me this isn't real," because a new evidence file announced the new Ted body cam footage of him wanting to snitch against Durk has changed the case. Durk's lawyers submitted paperwork for an extended time on their bond proposal. In case you're unaware, Ted is OTF Dee Dee's younger brother. OTF Dee Dee is also known as Durk's main hitter, meaning Ted likely knows a lot of what goes on behind the scenes. But Ted started snitching because he was arrested for having a firearm in an unrelated case.
Really? Dude had a. What about that? A man had a with an extended clip. That's cool though, right?
From here, he was taken to the police station. Rather than trying to stay solid, Ted instantly began saying he would snitch on the people he knows to get released.
Come on. Hey, stop it. Stop it.
Ted sat in the waiting cell for the officer, and they began talking shortly after. He was ready to throw blame at whoever he could to be released.
Wait, hold on. You gotta relax for me, because I can't understand it. Relax. What's the number? 779, what you saying, man?
We're gonna see what we can do for you, alright?
We can see what we can do for you. You gotta relax for me.
Relax, man. I'm gonna get a bus to prison. Relax.
Give me No, I'm saying, what are you talking about? I'm trying to get that.
Despite everything looking bad for Durk, there's still a chance his lawyers get him released. It was announced Durk has filed a new motion to dismiss based on the vagueness of the second superseding indictment. If it is not dismissed, he requests a bill of particulars to specify. They want to know the coded language used, the nature of the bounty, the date and time, and circumstance. Because in the paperwork, Durk's lawyers are asking the prosecutors to show the evidence where Durk gives his offer for the bounty of Quando Rondo. They want to know exactly what reward Durk offered to the members that did the crime. They want to know exactly the date and time that he did it, because Durk's lawyers believe the prosecutors can't prove that information. In a typical court case, all of this would have been shared by now. However, the prosecutors aren't giving it up. Although a new twist made it concerning for Durk on the inside, it was announced Durk reportedly taken into solitary confinement indefinitely after an officer discovered a cell phone in his jail cell.
They got Lil Durk in a hole for basically some BS. And right now we're gonna show the paperwork. They saying that he was caught with a cell phone, and basically that's not true. They trying to keep him in a hole, do a lot of things that they shouldn't be doing or whatever, but they trying to make a point because they saying that me and him is privileged and we got so many things going on, and it's a lot of BS.
However, it's possible it could be for Durk's safety. It was reported Chicago rapper Durk was involved in an altercation inside jail this morning, which resulted in Lil Baby tweeting, "I don't care about nothing else other than Durk right now, free the bro." The streets connected what really happened. It begins with the tweet of Durk's friend Gleesh passed away last night in Chicago. It looks like OTF members are specifically being targeted. In case you didn't know, OTF Bezu was also taken out this week, as this has people questioning who would want revenge. One of the most obvious answers is Quando Rondo and Lil Tim, because the case that Durk is currently charged for is for the passing of their best friend Lil Pab. Tim and Quando released interviews talking about Durk on the same day he was targeted. As Lil Tim said,
shit, I was just protecting my little brother.
When you did finally find out that it was King Von who did it, how'd you feel?
I was like, damn, if Brian did that stupid shit last night, he still would have been alive. That's how I was. But I was like, shit, I ain't no the type person I am. Like, I'm a humble person. I ain't no disrespect to like his mama saying f*** him and shit like that, because I could easily get on that type of stuff and be clout chasing type. Like, I ain't on that type. I'm a humble person, but it's like they ain't never popped that shit off. That would have never happened like that.
Which led to Quando Rondo saying the same thing, saying he wishes it was handled in a different way.
Whoever on my side, they got kids and a mama that 100% love them. And at the end of the day, bro, all this bull that we talking about is stupid. That could have been handled a totally different way. It could have been handled to the point where a song and $3-4 million could have came out or whatever. Like they could have got handled in a legit way, in a music way.
Two ops of Durk doing an interview on the same day, praising Durk and wishing things were handled differently, definitely doesn't seem suspicious. But sadly, Durk was denied his bond due to being placed into solitary confinement. However, other lawyers online claim a lot of the evidence they have on Durk will be canceled by the First Amendment.
There's a First Amendment argument here, right? That this violates the First Amendment. Can you talk about that?
Right, for sure. I mean, I'm expressing myself. I can say the things that I want to say in a rap record or any kind of record. And you could go back and there's country records and there are pop records and there are R&B records that talk about all kinds of things. It's just that there's this notion that with hip hop, quote, glorifying violence, that suddenly now we're going to use these things to prosecute them. But does that mean that the free speech, the First Amendment has gone away? No, absolutely not. He can absolutely rap about what he wants to rap about, and that doesn't mean just because the story is violent.
But Durk's bond was denied after the judge reviewed it. The news wrote, the feds say Durk would need to go completely broke and give up all of his property to be granted bond, as they fear he might use his fortune to place bounties on witnesses.
No bond for Lil Durk. Let me tell you about what options he has left and why the bond was denied this time. Now, he's in federal court on a murder for hire charge where he faces the possibility of life in prison. What that means is under the federal law, it is presumed that you do not get a bond because the charge and the penalty are so serious. So your lawyer has to go out there and show why you should get a bond. Now, ultimately, what the district judge decided to deny the bond on was a couple of factors. There's a couple $1 million being put up, but it's not all being put up by Durk. Some of it is from the label, and ultimately Durk has a lot more money and assets than what's being put up. So if I let him out on bond and he tries to flee, he's going to have tons of assets and money at his disposal.
The feds are concerned if Durk is released that he will try to witness tamper and take out anybody that's snitching against him. One perfect example of this is OTF Jam, because he got outed as being a snitch and he's been gone for a long time. It was announced, has anyone heard from Jam after he snitched on Durk? Several members are gone, but he's been gone for months, as he was outed for being a snitch on DJ Vlad.
There's a guy named OTF Jam.
That was wired.
Very ironic name.
Jam got him in
everyone in a jam.
Did 12 years.
12
got
years.
out, interviewed, said he kept it real, brought him cars, gave him 50,000.
Right.
This. Made mention that ain't no smut on his name. He ain't never been a rat. Caught a gun case, but eventually he flipped.